This is The Form, and we're previewing the best races around the country this weekend. So let's get into it and welcome in the team. We've got Jane Ivor, Aidan Rodley and Leith in us back this week. And this is what's coming up on the agenda. We kick things off at Taranaki, looking forward to the Opunaki Cup there, the feature on the program. Also taking a look at the best races on the undercard. Then we're heading off to Awara Park, the other domestic meeting on Saturday. Having a look at the Open and the rating 75s there. Our race trackers. Then we head to Oamaru, of course, on Sunday. Looking forward to the Oamaru Cup and our best bets. We'll be trying to find you more of those this weekend. We head back to Taranaki this weekend, this time New Plymouth. So Jane, as I say hello to you, you're closest. How's that weather looking?
Yeah, look, as we've heard throughout the last couple of weeks, it's a region that's had a lot of rain, and 177 mils of rain have hit this track over the last 7 days. They will be running on a heavy 10, the rail out 4 metres. There is a little bit of rain about today and tomorrow in the area, nothing overly significant, but enough to sort of keep that track in the heavy range, and hopefully a little bit of sunshine for Aidan and I on Saturday on race day.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you both, Jane, as we take a look at the feature. It is race number 6 on the card. Really competitive field, as you'd expect, with your favourite to Bell's Bow at $3.90. You've got Joshua Brown at $4.60, and then Bellardo Boy at $6, who is the first runner we want to highlight. We'll take you back to him running at Otaki here, and thought he was really good here, Jane, to hold off and make time under the big weight.
Yeah, really good run. He's a pretty hardy winter galloper, isn't he, Bellardo Boy? As you saw, Amber Riddell just cut the corner there and got a little bit of an advantage. Make time, finished into second position in the run as well. And of course, Bell's Bow in behind, finishing into third. So the three of them contesting the Opunaki Cup. One thing I will say is Make Time does have a slight weight swing on Bellardo Boy this Saturday, just a kilo. So that might be the difference between heads up, heads down on the line, but we know how good Bellardo Boy is. He won this race last year, of course. He's got a terrific record at the 1400 metres. He loves a heavy track, and he is a true open galloper this time of year.
Yeah, obviously he won the race last year with Joe Dahl on, and look, Jonathan's had 14 rides on the horse for a win as well, so he knows him pretty well. Look, 2023, he raced in the same race here, the Opunaki Cup, and he was unplaced on the track at New Plymouth, where he's only had the one start for a miss. So, look, out of the race, I thought Bell's Bow was a really good run. It looked like it was just a nice sort of fitness for this race.
Yeah, you can't underestimate Bell's Bow because the lead-up form had been all first-rate, but neither can you underestimate the latter pair either. Bellardo Boy is just an absolute genuine heavy tracker, so he'll relish these conditions, and he just seems to be going as well as he ever has. 60 kilograms on a testing track in a race like this won't be easy, but you'd love to see him do it again. Another contender in the race is this horse. Maybe queries over the extra distance, but Cinderman's been great in the last couple. Looks as though he just relishes this type of going as well, Leith, and anything Robbie Patterson puts out on his home track, you've just got to have respect for.
Yeah, obviously her form this season has been top class. She's put 2 wins together. Look, this is a really testing sort of track, even though it was 1200 metres. It probably raced more like 1300. She's strong to the line. She won with a little bit in hand, and she gets in with a nice weight of 53 kilos this Saturday.
Yeah, she did run the fastest last 600 of the entire meeting at Trentham too. In that event, Tavi Court finishing behind her, come out and won an open race at Hawera during the week as well. So a little bit of form around her. And as you mentioned, she's an in-form mare, racing particularly well this preparation. She gets home track advantage. Robbie Patterson is in super form at the moment. But I agree that the question mark around her really is whether she can stretch her brilliance out to 1400 metres. We won't know till we see that on Saturday. Joshua Brown is one of the interesting runners down at the bottom of the book. He's the real up-and-comer, isn't he, in terms of winter gallopers. His record on heavy tracks is just exceptional. He made a step up into open grade last start, and he was only narrowly beaten.
Yeah, look, he probably should have won the race. Look, those 3 horses on the outside, they swung too wide. Look, the inside horse got the upper hand late. He was strong to the line. What we don't see there, over a mile, he sort of over-raced a little bit early. It's not like him. He normally sort of jumps out the back. I think the step back to 1400 is probably his key distance. And he's got the right gate, barrier 11. They'll be winning on the outside fence, I'd say, at Taranaki by this time of the day.
Just love what he's been doing, Joshua Brown. Just an emerging talent. This is his biggest test, no doubt. But he was pretty good in open company last time out, and yeah, just the way he's been racing and building up to this one, I think he's a real contender in the race. So, in the end, I've landed on him. Joshua Brown on top for me. It's a tough race. It's a good Opanaki Cup, but yeah, Joshua Brown for me. Leith, how about you?
Yeah, I just think, look, obviously he's travelled once, and that was to Wellington. Look, I think the heavy track, the step back to 1,400 metres is definitely going to suit him. If you're going to play a couple of horses in the race, I'd just, Spencer's not the worst either. He's a good value each way.
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult race to sort out. There's probably 5 or 6 horses that you can absolutely make a case for that could be winning this race. I thought the best form leading into it was that open handicap out of Otaki that was run by Bellardo Boy, and I've gone with Make Time. I know he's been out of the winner's circle for 12 months, so he really needs to put another win on the board. But Lisa Ladder, Bruno Corres, they're striking at around 30%. He's riding really well for the stable, and I think with that weight swing in his favour over Bellardo Boy, he's certainly a chance this Saturday.
Yeah, agree, Jane, and at a good price as well. That feature you can catch on Big Saturday, underway at 3:22. As we move now to race number 3, this one over the 1,200 metres for the rating 75 runners. Matiwa favourite clearly at $1.85. From testing, it's $6, and there has been already a bit of specking for fancy pants in the market. $9 now shopping at 6s. Let's take you back now to Matiwa and Aidan. He looks to remain unbeaten this preparation after really dominating his own age group here at the River City.
Yeah, it is a step up in grey, but boy, he's been good, winning his maiden by 4.5 at Wanganui. Returned to that track for this 3-year-old win and did it just as easily as a $1.40 pop as well. He's an emerging talent, gets home track advantage. Craig Grill's back after his break, so that's good to see as well. Geez, I've been so impressed by him, Leith. He's going to take some beating here.
Yeah, certainly home track advantage is a big help for him as well. Look, both his wins, he's run the fastest 800, 600, 400 and 200 metre closing sectionals. So, look, he hasn't been beating really good horses. Obvious as this race is a rating 75 and he meets a really good field, but by all accounts, he's trained on well as well.
Yeah, I like the fact that Craig Grills returns to and continues that association with the Robbie Patterson stable. The win last start rated really highly for this horse, and he seems like he's still on an upward trajectory, so hopefully he can make another step up on Saturday. But there is another form line to look at leading into this, and that's the Ilona Kelly trained Peppery. Prowess finishing second in behind her at Otaki last start. Carried a featherweight on this occasion with Ali Sola in the saddle, just 51 kilos. Does go up 2.5 kilos, so again Prowess does have the weight to swing in its favour this Saturday out of the Susie Gordon stable. But I think these are two pretty hardy winter gallopers that have a little bit more experience on Matiwa.
Yeah, look, Peppery was really good. Obviously, being by Bellardo, they just love these heavy 10 tracks. Look, the 3 kilos comes off again this week, and look, she's had 4 starts on the track for a win as well.
Yeah, there's a 1.5 kilogram swing to Prowess there, who's only gone down half a length, and we're talking about Sinbin going around in an Opanaki Cup. Prowess wasn't that far away from that horse a couple of starts back as well. So yeah, it'll be an interesting form line, and that mix of that type of form up against what we've seen from Matiwa in the 3-year-old company. But just how impressive he's been, he's on top for me. Leith, who'd you land with?
Yeah, I'm off the Robbie Patterson, Craig Grill's combination as well. They've got a pretty strong hand on Saturday. They should be winning race 1 and race 3, so Craig will make it number 82 wins for Robbie Patterson this week.
Yeah, I agree with the pair of you. I think Matiwa's a really difficult horse to go past in this particular race, just given it's so lightly tried. It's got a lot of upside. Testing's the other one that I thought you could certainly consider, but Matiwa looks like he's going in the right direction.
He really does, Jane. Looks like the team thinking he can say see you later there as we move on now to the last race. Race number 7 on the program. Last race we want to check out here at New Plymouth. This one for the rating 75s over the mile. And the locals with a very good hand in it. Sof May's favourite at $4.50 from Ballroom Blitz at $7. Very open with Catherine's on that third line of betting with a handful of them at $8.50. Let's go back to Trainwreck, who is one at the $8.50 quote. effort. Obviously beats home the likes of Hes Lucid here and Sof May, and fought really well, Aidan, and behind the favourite Bell's Fate.
Absolutely. This was the third up run, and just there was a lot to like. It was as testing as you could ask at Trentham this day, so no problems with conditions. Obviously has beaten home a couple of key rivals, Hexel Ridge and Sof Mays in this, but fourth up into the preparation, it just looks tailor-made. I really like what was seen from Trainwreck, and I thought a real contender here, Leith.
Yeah, certainly really tough. I thought the run of Sof Mays never got the run of the green there. She got held up sort of from the 400 metres and again the last 100. So, look, going on that race, I'd say I'd be picking Sof Mays just over Trainwreck. Home track advantage as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, Leith, in terms of Sof Mays. I thought she was the runner that you want to keep an eye on, and that replay really didn't have a lot go her way in the home straight, blocked for a run, and then once she did get into the clear, she really found the line nicely. So that was probably the horse that I would take out of that race. Outside of that, I think we need to look at the run at Rotorua of Loch Katrine. She's a mare that finished third on this occasion, and her closing sectionals were terrific, the fastest last 6 and 4 of the race, and I just feel like she's building towards another win. She'll come into the race at New Plymouth fourth up, and stepping out to 1600 metres I think is really going to suit her as well.
Yeah, it certainly is obviously a pet distance. Stephen Aldridge, I talked to him during the week, and he's quietly confident. She loves a heavy track. Look, fourth up, she's going to be super fit, and look, she's got to be a top 3 chance.
Yeah, from what we saw of her as a younger horse, she was terrific, stakes winner. But it's been a long time, isn't it? Just the 2 wins from 22. Like the fact that Stephen has a bit of confidence. He's one of our very best trainers. Fourth up, respect around Loch Katrine for sure. Okay, let's take you to this one as a key form lead up as well, and the effort of Catherine's. I'm not so sure. We know on her best form she'd be in this. She's I don't know, Leith. What did you make of her lead up efforts? I
thought this is a pretty good race. The track was probably a little bit too good for her. This is a Group 3, the Cuddle Stakes. She got held up a little bit late. I think she gets back to a track on Saturday. A heavy 10 plus is going to be to her liking, and I've actually got her on top this week.
I thought the interesting thing with her is that she normally does put in a really strong performance fresh up, and we didn't see that from her fresh up this preparation. You do give some really good explanations for that, obviously the step up in grade. What I do like with her is, as you mentioned, back to a home track, and Craig Grill's back on the saddle. He's won 3 from 4 on her, so he knows her particularly well. But I'm with Loch Katrine in this. I just like the fact that she's a mare that's had a couple of runs under her belt this preparation. She's building towards a win. And I thought the writing was on the wall with that run at Rotorua last start. Good closing sectionals, looks like she's ready for the mile.
Yeah, I'm with Robbie Patterson and Craig Grills again. Catherine's, she's going super. I think second up, her record's good. Home track advantage, big plus, and she's probably overs at $8, I thought.
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit outside the square. I was taken by what I saw from Trainwreck. I thought really nice build-up. And while I know you're meeting Sof May's half a kilogram worse and Sof May's at home, I'm going to go with Trainwreck here.
Everybody's split. No surprise there, having a look at that market. And that does complete our look at New Plymouth. You can catch all the build-up as usual from 11 a.m. on Big Saturday. Rotorua is the second domestic meeting on Saturday, so Leith, weather and track-wise, what are we looking like we're running on?
Yeah, Pip, obviously it's going to be a heavy 10 again on Saturday. Look, Friday, there looks like there's going to be probably another 10 mils of rain coming as well. Look, the rail's in the true position, but I think the place to be on Saturday will be hard on that outside fence after probably about race 4.
Okay, well, let's take a look at race 4. It is the Open here over the 1,560 metres. And Corker is the favourite at $3.40. Nigella Lane at $3.70. And you can see it solidify as the mover in that market. $6 at opening, now into $4. Let's take you back to Corker. Last time takes out the Tauranga Classic here. Jane, the mare, so a super effort, and she takes the Jack Taplin takes the 4 kilos off the back.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good run, fresh up, settled midfield, urged into the race from about the 800. She was right there at the top of the straight. She kept responding to urgings and she really found the line. The win rated really well. In fact, much higher than her race rivals in terms of their last start outings. Heavy track, 1400 metres, all ticks for her.
Yeah, certainly it was a great training effort by Pam Gerard as well. And look, it was good to see Sam Collett back and get a listed win straight away since her trip back from Brisbane. Jack Taplin on this week. Look, I think the main aim for her is probably the Winter Cup, so I'm just willing to just watch her this week.
Yeah, I'm sure that this will be a really good tune-up for the Winter Cup. She's obviously come back really well, but, you know, sometimes those first-up efforts can take it out of a horse. You know, it was a terrific win, as Jane said, rated really highly too. But, yeah, maybe just a little bit of caution second up, although real respect around the quality that she does bring to this race. Next we want to have a look at here is Nigella Lane, winning the Rotorua Cup. She was terrific. I just really like the way that she's building into this. She's won 3 or 4 on a heavy track, 2 or 3 at Rotorua, so no problems there. Again, a horse who's preparing for a Taumata Nui Cup, so whether you just might see her at her best next time. Interesting, but she's got the quality, Leith.
Yeah, it certainly has, and she's had a nice little trial last week at Te Awamutu over 1,100 metres where she won by 3 lengths. So, look, she's in good form at the moment. She loves the track. Rahan Gorham's suspended, so Amber Waddell gets on. Good replacement, 2 kilos off her back as well.
Yeah, the trial was very good and she's a very consistent mare, particularly on these types of track conditions, so one that can never be discounted in a race like this. The other one to consider here, I thought, was Sulabella, last up winner on the track over a similar distance. And look, the stable's coming off a double last Saturday, and this is a mare who hit a patch of form this time last year, winning 2 in a row, so she's capable of going back to back. Looks like one of the main pace influences in the race as well.
Yeah, and look, she's had 2 starts on the track at Rotorua for 2 wins, and we know those course stats at Rotorua. Horses can win there and not win anywhere else. So look, she's going to get a track that she's going to like, a heavy sort of 10 plus on Saturday, and being a small field, she should get an easy lead as well.
Yeah, definitely. A big chance in the race. Diomedes was okay in behind and, well, also entered, I think, for New Plymouth, if I've got that right. I'm not too sure if they paid up there or not. I haven't actually checked that deep. But was the 240 favourite last time out against Sulabella at 11.70. So there is that about Diomedes that there might be improvement. But, yeah, 2 from 2, track and distance Sulabella. So, yeah, one who really does like these track conditions. Okay, I'm going to go to my top as Nigella Lane. Just a little bit wary about what's to come for her, but I know she's class and she'll handle conditions here, Leith.
Yeah, certainly come Saturday morning there, I might only be 4 runners, and if she's one of them, she's going to be awfully hard to beat. You're getting $4.40 on the odds surge. I'm happy to be on her this week.
I'm against you guys here. I have a lot of respect for Nigella Lane. I think she's certainly a smart mare, but I'm with Cork. I'm not too worried about second up. Her second up record reads particularly well, and I just think she's the best rated horse in the race.
Okay, from race number 4, that's what the guys are liking. We're going to now move off to race number 5, and this one for the rating 75s over the 1,400 metres, open affair. Look at that, you've got 4 of them at around that $4.44.80 quote with Mr. Rocket, and leading the betting with Hes Lucid. And he is the first runner we want to take a look at for Kevin Myers. Amber Riddell in the saddle here, Jane, and had this tick over trial. What did you make of it?
I thought it was a really nice trial. Was just under his own steam, allowed to come out of the barriers. He found a position, he travelled beautifully, and then just was able to coast to the line with very minimal riding. As you can see out wide with the blue cap, that's Testing, who won the trial, who then went on and won first up. So Hes Lucid's a horse I've always had a little bit of time for. I think he's a really talented galloper, and I think the trial looks like he's on the right track to make a nice return to racing this preparation.
Yeah, certainly it was a nice trial. He wasn't asked much. You know, sometimes Kevin Myers' horses may need a run first up, and, you know, with the Christchurch sort of Carnival Winter Cup time coming up, is it, you know, more of a fitness run, but he's got that class on his side. You got to remember he ran 6 in a cracker 3 odd mile as well.
Yeah, and first up, real respect around him. He's got quality, no two ways about that. So respect there. Kai Moana was good winning at Tauranga last time out. A horse who's got to be in contention here. It's a key form race. Family Folks came out of this race and was terrific at Tarapa. Next time out, Ruark and Just a Tipple with meritorious runs as well. But I think you've got to give a bit of credit to this one of Kai Moana, Leith.
Yeah, certainly got on the inside, and hey, the track was sort of suited to those back markers and horses out wide as well. And like I said, I thought the run of Family Folks in the race was good. Came out and won nice at Te Rapa 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's a strong enough field. Sam McNabb gets on Family Folks this week as well. Gets the 4 kilos off his back.
He has to make the step up to rating 75 grade this Saturday, as does another race rival in Girls Light Up. Last start winner at benchmark 65 grade, and won quite nicely, to be fair, was right there at the top of the straight and actually pulled away really nicely from the field. I like the fact that Michael McNabb sticks with this runner on Saturday and will get conditions to suit.
Yeah, certainly got on the right part of the track. And Michael sits this week, obviously 55.5 kilos. He's got to sort of keep his weight under control over these cold sort of winter months. Hey, Rod, you should be getting him heavier rides, I reckon.
He's going okay. The thing about Girls Light Up is that that was just her second win in 31 starts, so she's not one who you can sort of have real confidence about. She steps up in grade from 65 to 75 grade. But it was a very good win. It rated strongly. She was terrific. Scored by 3 3/4 lengths. So up in grade, she's going to take some beating.
Look, I'm going to go Hes Lucid as my main pick. Look, Kevin Myers, he's a genius trainer, and look, I've got no doubt he's the best horse in the field, and he should be spot on after that second up trial last week.
Yeah, I think he is the best horse in the field when you go back and look at his record and what he's been able to produce in stakes races. When you're 5 lengths from Savagly in 2,000 guineas, that reads pretty well. I think 1,400 metres is the perfect kick-off point for him. And look, over 1,400 metres from an inside barrier, hopefully he can find a nice position not too far away from the speed as well. So I'm with Hes Lucid.
And there's $5 too with that odd surge. Every race there at Awatere Park does have the odd surge if you want to get involved. And of course, you can catch that action on Big Saturday. These are the horses we think you should be following in the coming weeks. Leith, we start with you. Who have you found?
Susie Gordon's horses are flying at the moment, Pip, and he's a battler. And just sort of misjudged the jump out of the gates there, got back on a slow sort of tempo, got held up, and look, his closing sectionals were really good. Look, Susie's going to take him back to Christchurch on the 6th of August for the Open 2,200 metre race, and he doesn't need to improve much on this to be a winning chance, and you see him pass the post here. He's nearly in front as well.
Got to respect Susie Gordon's horses on the poly at the moment. They're flying. For mine, I went back to Otaki last week and found Georgie Wood. It just kept on rolling into this. I thought it was terrific. On the clock, backed up by that quick as 8, 6, 4 and 2 in the race. Another one who was really good in the same race was one finishing even further back in the field as well. But yeah, from what I saw from Georgia Wood, she's terrific. But whether we see that this weekend, because she's up against race winners, that's dubious.
I thought there was a 2-year-old that raced particularly well during the week, and that was Reconvene, finishing second in behind Spandito in the 2-year-old race at Hawera. The Tony Furness trained gelding. Run the fastest last 600 of the meeting. The only horse that went quicker, it was the second fastest, was the open handicapper in Tabby Court. So certainly a 2-year-old still learning. I'd like to see it go to a maiden race perhaps and get a little bit of confidence rather than heading to a rider stakes. But I think in a maiden race it can pick up a win pretty quickly.
And I'm sticking with a 2-year-old as well, but this one from Chris Waller's stable here on Saturday, Crossbow. Jason Collett was aboard and just gets pocketed in prior to this when he was trying to get a run. He finally gets out, but it was just a little bit too late to pick up the eventual winner, Tomato Toast. He's really hit the line strong, though. This better than Ready at Gelding, and I think he's one to follow from the Waller stable as a 3-year-old. Here's a summary. He's a battler for Letha Aiden with Georgie Wood, Reconvene for Jane, and I'm with Crossbow, and that's our race trackers for the week. Oamaru Cup Day on Sunday, so Aidan, we'll get to you for weather and track. Is it bad down south as it is up north?
Certainly track-wise, it will be. It'll be a really testing track at Oamaru. Sometimes the rail's the best place to be there as well, but other than that, they'll come fairly wide. But weather, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's the place to be for the next week north of Target. You want to get there, but for sure.
Okay, if you're out and about, make sure you do head to the track as we take a look at the first of the features. Race number 8 on the program, the River Plate Trophy here over the 1200 metres for the open handicaps, and Riviera Rebel looks one of the key chances in the race, as does Express Coupe. That's who we're going to highlight first. She beats a handful of runners home on this occasion, the Pittman mare. What did you make of the run, Jane?
I thought it was a top run. As you can see, a number of key rivals went round in this event back on the 3rd of July. Sat midfield, had to wait for a little bit of space when it opened up, but she was a mare that certainly ran on well. I thought there was some merit in the run of Lisa Paris. She stuck on well after taking up a handy position in running, but Express Coupe is just a mare that's in form at the moment. She's had a great preparation, 8 runs for 3 wins and 3 placings. She relishes a heavy track, so I think she's really hard to go past here.
Yeah, it was a good ride by Ashton Gumasami as well. He's getting a nice sort of support by the Pittman stable. Got the last run at them. He rode it well. Street Fighter Man was okay in the race. I thought he was exposed a little bit early on that really testing track.
Yeah, just flying at the moment. And as Jane said, Cope's conditions, it'll be similar this weekend at Oamaru. So, yeah, real respect around Express Cope and what she's been bringing in recent starts. Next, we're going to look at Penvo's Lad. We know the abilities there on this horse. Also cops the heavy track. He did that really well 3 starts back at Riccarton. That led to a trip to Trentham. Maybe not quite so good at Timaru last time out, but you put your faith in previous form and on the lightweight, and he's a contender, Leith.
Yeah, certainly. He's got the right part of the track. He's drawn 13. Just put a line for that last race. Nothing went right. I think it was more of a sort of fitness sort of run. He's got that real heavy 10 to 15 sort of heavy track action, and he should be a lot better suited to the 54 kilos this week.
Certainly a horse that's got plenty of ability, was stakes placed as a 2-year-old. Things didn't go right last start, but what I really like for this horse leading into the weekend is that they elected to hit reset, and the horse has been freshened coming into this. I'm still with the Express Coupe in the race, though. I think it's really hard to go past a mare in form.
I'm going to go Street Fighting Man. Look, the horse is a tough old galloper. He's rising 8, but he's won 7 races, and he likes the track there. He's had 2 starts for a couple of placings as well.
I'm going to go to Victor Rouge. I just think he's a horse who won both days on heavy tracks in the Winter Cup Carnival last year. Seems to be building into this nicely. The team that Bevan and Robin Wilson, they're just flying at the moment. And I think you'll be forgiving of that last run. For mine, testing conditions, Victor Rouge.
And they've got chances in this next race. We want to take a look at the Oamaru Cup, headed by Lord Darcy from the stable. Then you have other runners bringing in last start form like Bauble. And one we want to highlight first is Hes Grunt here. Beats the likes of If I Did It, Sympathique in behind. And not many missed this, Jane, from last to first here in what was a fantastic run in the Waimari Cup.
Yeah, the winner looked terrific, didn't He's tons of Grant, made up enormous ground. But I think If I Did It was the key horse in this race. Probably travelled a little bit too easy, got to the front at the top of the straight and really looked like he just clocked off a little bit. He got a bit wayward in the concluding stages, and He's tons of Grunt had that momentum and went straight past him. But I think a pretty key form reference for this race.
Yeah, look, he's If I Do It, he's one of those horses. He's got to get there a little bit later. He was exposed. He hit the front at the top of the straight, so he only got run down late. It was a good effort by the winner, though.
Yeah, really good effort, and just seems to be getting better and better. He came from a mile back to be winning that. Was okay at Riccarton last time out as well, although does need to turn the tables on Albatross from that Amberley Cup. The old stager, Lord Darcy, he's been there, done that. No problems whatsoever. Yogesh Yachimar takes a couple of kilograms off his back. He was good at Wingatui, resuming last time out, and he's a Winter Cup winner who will relish these conditions. He'll be fitter now with this win under the belt. Real respect again around the Wilsons.
Yeah, look, it was a really good run. Like you said, Lord Darcy, he's a grand winter galloper, and look, they'll have the Winter Cup on their site. So, look, I'm willing to just watch him this week with the top weight. He's a top 3 chance, but I'm not sure if I can have him on top this week.
The stable have got some really strong chances going round in the race, don't they? So you certainly got to consider the top weight in this particular event. Bauble is the other horse we need to highlight ahead of this. His last start win rated incredibly highly at Timaru back on the 10th of June. He won this by an incredible 14.5 lengths, so he really dominated. It wasn't benchmark 75 grade, so does have to get back out against the open gallopers. It comes back to a mile too. That would be my only query with the horse.
Yeah, certainly he was super impressive, and look, going by that, he's a really up-and-coming sort of stayer once he gets over that trip. Like you said, Jane, a little bit of a question mark coming back to a mile, but you got the Andertons, the champion trainers.
Yeah, and I think he was about 24 lengths faster than the other race at the distance on the day. So he was super impressive, Bauble. Now he's got to bring that into the better grade, but I think he's well capable. I've gone for him on top.
Tough race to mark, especially with the Winter Cup coming up. Victorian Charm, look, Kylie Williams, she needs another 10 wins to get to 1,000, and should be getting one closer, hopefully, on Sunday.
Well, I'm with one of the stablemates in Royal Valour. I really like the way this horse won at Ashburton back on the 3rd of July. And I like the fact that he's had that run where there's some of the field that missed a run at Ashburton when the last 3 races were abandoned. So he comes into this with just that little bit of extra fitness.
Okay, sounds like those colours could be to the 4 at Oamaru on Sunday. Catch that action on the Sunday session from 11 a.m. It's time for our best bets, and Leith, you're on the board last weekend, so double up. Who have you got for us this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to take you across the ditch to South Australia, Pip. The Group 3 size produce stake this week, Volcano. He meets the Group 3 2-year-old race. It would be the worst Group 3 race I think I've seen ever in Australia, and he'll be going very close, the horse out of Volks Lightning.
And going around in the Willie Do It colours like that, Leith. Literal for me in the first out at Rotorua. Horse who's run second placings in each of the last 2, like what we saw at Rotorua last time out, getting to the line really strongly. The start before had run a close second on debut, and the 3rd and 4th horses have come out and won since. So literal for me in the first at Rotorua.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to get any pats on the backs if my best bet gets up this weekend. It's very easy to find a free bow and very short on the tote as well, so probably one to throw into multis. But I made her a tracker after her win at Trentham, so I felt like I need to follow her into New Plymouth this weekend. Race number 1, free bow.
And I'm hoping great minds think alike, because I'm with her as well to make it 3 in a row for Craig Grills, who's back in the saddle, and Robbie Patterson. Here's a summary. Rosso kicks us off this week with Sweet and Sassy at Whanganui on Friday in race 2. Mickey Flyby for the Whale at Addington on Friday. And you can see Literal there for Aidan. Free Bell for myself and Jane. And Volcano there at Morfortville on Saturday for Leith. And that's it for us, team, for another week of the form. As always, thanks to the team that hopefully have found you plenty of winners for the weekend. Enjoy the racing. We'll catch you back next week.
Standing on the start.